When voting rights was not passed because they would not get rid of the filibuster, they dropped conversation of those things. Like, I think it should just be like relentlessly pounded into people's heads how important this is and how deeply unfair it is to the American people. You know, we're constantly told that we deserve all these terrible things that happen to us, and that if, for example, the Democrats do not win an election that is already much more difficult for them to win because of these new state laws, you know, that throw out people's votes or make it very difficult for people to vote, that it's somehow our fault, that democracy is, quote, on the ballot. But like, we did it already. We did it in what I think was the real last chance shot in 2020, and we won, you know, and it's only become more difficult since then. And there is an obligation on the part of the officials whom we elected to do absolutely everything in their power, to think creatively, to think outside the box, to work hard to preserve our right to vote. Because why are we voting then? You know, we're not having elections so that we could have more elections and more fundraising and more campaigns. We elected people to implement policy and to protect the country, to protect our rights and our freedoms. And they haven't done it. And we knew it was going to be a giant uphill battle because the Republicans have been putting forth this strategy for decades on end. But again, you know, the advantage there is that you know exactly what they're trying to accomplish, and you know that you have to act just as creatively and you know, steadfastly as the Republicans did, but on the side of good instead of on the side of evil. And unfortunately, you know, they did not. And we're now out of time, at least in terms of this critical juncture between 2020 and the 2022 election. You know, we had a very narrow window here, and they missed that window, or they decided not to open it, or to open it and, you know, defenestrate democracy instead. And so that has me very concerned about, obviously, the 2024 election, but also just about the unbridled power of the Supreme Court and all the horrible rulings that are going to be coming down the line, especially over the next few months.
Josh Shapiro keeps telling us why we need to vote for him. He believes in good governance. That's what we're up against: government functioning and making our lives better and protecting us from all the many crises out there, or electing actual fascists that want to use government to mass murder people and to profit off the ashes. But that's really the two choices on the ballot this election, once again. And so go to Josh Shapiro's Twitter or his Facebook, amplify what he's saying, write emails sharing what he's saying about all the good things he's going to do when he becomes governor, sign up to make phone calls. I love phone banking because it cuts through the noise of the media and you really connect with people. And I find that it gives me a pulse of what's really going on the ground. I get a better sense of what's happening. And so I know phone banking can be nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking for me. Who the hell wants to call up a stranger and say, hey, you want to talk? No, they don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to people when they call me out of the blue and I don't know who they are and I don't have time for them. But when you get into the groove of it, when you realize that with every phone call, you're getting closer to reach that person that genuinely needs your help on how to cast a ballot, and you're there to walk them through it. Very basic information for whatever reason they might need help with. Or you might reach someone on the phone that really feels like you do and needs to vent and talk. And by venting and talking about how scared you are about what's going on in the world, you encourage that person to pick up a phone too and help get out the vote with you. Phone banking is an incredibly empowering experience. And you can do it with us at Gaslit Nation by coming to Gaslit Nation's Halloween phone banking party to get out the vote for John Fetterman in Pennsylvania for Senate. He's one of the key races we have to win to expand Democratic control of the U.S. Senate, to sideline Manchin and that other one in Arizona, Kristen Sinema. Let's make sure their names are like right. I'm already starting. I'm like they're already irrelevant. Yeah, and so please join us for that, and we'll have more information. But you can go to the Gaslit Nation midterm survival guide on gaslitnationpod.com. All the information is there. Get in where you fit in, roll up your sleeves. No act is too small. Amplify all the good people out there that deserve our support.